Hi everyone, I am Nina and today I have a fabulous video to share with you. Now 2020 was a rough year for all of us, but it did help me get some reading done. I read 77 books this year and today I'm going to share my top 10 favorites with you. Now these are in no particular order, but I'm going to start off with An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. Now I'm going to sound really bad for saying this is one of my favorites of the year, but I read it at the very beginning of the year and since then I've forgotten most of what happened. So this is a young adult fantasy novel that deals with a young girl who has the talent of painting, and she paints portraits and it has fair folk in it. So she is not a fair folk and she makes a portrait for a fair folk prince. And that gets her into a whole adventure of such. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was fun. I'm not too much for fantasy, but I highly recommend this one if you are. Then I read a nonfiction book called So You Want to Talk About Race. This was very eye-opening for me. I thought it was a really important topic to learn more about because, to be honest, I live in a very rural, small-town area. I don't know Black people and I don't know their struggles, and so with everything that was happening I decided to educate myself and reach out and find resources. So this was one of those, and I thought this was a fabulous book to help me understand what everyone is talking about and what is going on, and I highly suggest reading this book. I think more people in my town need to read this book. And it was wonderful. So I'm just going to leave it at that. It's a wonderful nonfiction book that really teaches you what you need to know and explains it in a easy, understandable way. I also picked up the Kiss Quotient. I did not expect this book. So I just picked this up because the cover was cute and I heard some people on BookTube liked it. I didn't really know what it was about. It is about a woman who is socially awkward. I think she has autism, if I remember correctly. She has autism, and so she feels really socially awkward in relationships, and she really just focuses on her career. But her mom is pushing her to find a husband and like settle down before she gets too old and blah, blah, blah. And she feels really uncomfortable with this and is scared about having sex. She's had sex before, but it's been really bad experiences, and she thinks it's because of her, and she wants it to be good. So she hires a male prostitute to teach her how to be more comfortable in bed, and they fall in love. And this was so much steamier than I had assumed it was, and I loved it. It was amazing. I loved the steam. Give me all the steam. So if you like a little extra spice to your novels, this was definitely a wonderful novel. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And it wasn't just a little cutesy contemporary, like it added some stuff for it. So I really enjoyed this. Moving on, we have Dry by Neil Shusterman. I didn't expect to like this as much as I did, but I really did enjoy it. I picked it up because I loved his Scythe series. And so I found this at my local library and I gave it a whirl, and it was wonderful. It deals with I think they're in California and there's a major drought and it's been going on for months, and finally it just hits the point where there's no water left. Like, it's a tap out. People weren't taking it seriously and now there's none left, and people go crazy, and it's crazy what people will do to survive. And so these band of kids have to band together and learn how to survive, and it was pretty scary to see how real this could be and how easy it would take a society to crash and burn for its own survival. So it was scary and realistic, but I really enjoyed it and I thought it was pretty amazing. So then I have Dear Martin by Nick Stone. This was a really short book, but I really liked it. So this is a fiction book, but it does give you that more educational viewpoint of learning what is the struggles that people are dealing with in our society that maybe I don't know anything about, or maybe you don't know anything about, and you want to learn it in a storytelling way where it's not just nonfiction. So this is a fiction book and gives you a story from Martin's perspective, and him and his friend and the racism that they face, and it was a lot to take in for someone that knows nothing about the topic. So I highly recommend. I loved the story. So I just finished this novel and I really enjoyed it. It's called Optimus Must Die First by Susan Nielsen. So it deals with this young girl whose sister has died and she blames herself for it. because of a safety precaution that she didn't really take into measure. And so she has been hyper vigilant about being safe and being cautious, and it's disrupting her everyday life. She won't use elevators, she won't cross the street where it's not a crosswalk, she won't walk past a construction site, and reads all these horror stories, and is just obsessed with freak accident deaths. And then she joins this little support group with other teens that have issues as well. I was going to say similar issues. They're not similar issues. And she learns and grows and becomes friends with these people, and they learn and grow as well. Moving on, we have Lies by T.M. Logan. Now, this is the biggest book that I read this year, and it wasn't very big, to be honest. It was only like 420 pages. So this deals with a husband who kind of uncovers that his wife is cheating on him, and that kind of snowballs into a murder, and the police think that he did it. So we go on this whirlwind of who did what, is this person alive, what is happening. So it was crazy. It kind of gave me Gone Girl vibes, but kind of like roles reversed a little bit, I guess. And I quite enjoyed this. I also read Augie and Me, 3 Wonder stories. So this is Wonder. If you've read Wonder, this is kind of like a companion novel to that, and it gives you 3 different perspectives of other characters in that novel and what they thought throughout the story of Wonder. And I thought this was wonderful. This did make me cry at some points. I really enjoyed this. I don't have too much to add because you kind of have to read Wonder to understand what's happening in this, but it was really sweet contemporary novel. I also read The Last Lie by Alex Lake. I thought this was a fabulous thriller. So it deals with this trash-ass husband that kind of plans on murdering his wife. And so all throughout you just get this husband's perspective of how he hates his wife, and you get the wife's perspective of, oh, he's the perfect husband, we're the perfect couple. And so we go on this whirlwind of what's going to happen. Like, is he going to actually go through this and murder his wife? And it has a pretty good ending, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. It was a page turner for me, and I really enjoyed it. So my 10th book, the last book I have to show you guys, is Yes, No, Maybe So by Becky Albertalli and Aisha Saeed. I'm really sorry for butchering that. I should have looked it up before I recorded this. So this is another young adult novel, and it deals with 2 kids and a local election. And I thought this was really great for this year because of our election year. But this deals with a more local election and telling you why local elections are so important, and you shouldn't just vote in the one president election every 4 years, and why local elections are important and raising awareness for those. So these 2 kids go canvassing, and they grow closer as they canvass, and we get to learn more about them and their struggles and their thoughts on the whole thing. So I really enjoyed this, and really that's all I have to say. So these were my top 10 books of 2020. Leave your comment down below. Let me know what you thought of these books. Did you hate them? Did you love them? What were your favorites of 2020? And what were your least favorites of 2020? I am going to be posting my top most disappointing books or worst books of 2020 soon, so keep an eye out for that. Bye!